I don't think I really had a choice, to be honest with you.
Yes, you do. You don't ever have to hit another ball the rest of your life, or
But
not.
I'm saying in regards to the French Open, because in that whole incident, I feel like everything got scaled. I honestly don't think I had a choice but to withdraw.
I think you did the right thing then. Did you do the right thing for yourself? That's all I care about.
Yeah.
Then you did the right thing.
Yeah.
Who do you think's the quickest guy right now?
I'd have to say, durable-wise and the way he moves, Novak for sure is the best athlete mover onto a hands down.
He's not the fastest.
He's not the fastest.
Monfils? What about Monfils?
Monfils, but had a couple of injuries due to the way he moves.
I think Monfils is the most raw athlete tennis has ever had.
I
Really?
agree.
Just raw athlete.
Yep.
Novak's balance is the way he anticipates. Oh my God, he's always over his core.
What you're kind of saying is I feel like Novak was kind of built for tennis.
Yeah.
When Monfils, you could put him
Track
on
and
like
field?
in any sort of environment and kind of adapt type
Like
thing.
track and field,
Yeah.
basketball.
You're telling me he
whatever.
couldn't play soccer or basketball?
Yeah, like he'd
or
find a
something?
way.
Dance
Who
around.
shrinks the court so much it's uncomfortable
Who's
for
the
you to
best
play
mover
against?
right now? Are you the best mover?
No.
What do you mean no?
Well, I don't play a lot of matches anymore.
Okay,
so
That's not
I think Halep's pretty good.
She's
Yeah,
really good.
she does
She's
move
great.
well.
She's a great athlete.
What do you think about Coco's movement?
Coco moves well too, but I would say right now she's like in between trying to be aggressive and defensive, so it's not as good as it could be if she just decided on one thing. And I think Halep's more like deciding to be defensive, so that's why it's better.
Yeah, she's like counter puncher type thing.
Yeah.
So best player of all time?
Roger. we can have this debate.
I mean, but like Novak could end up with like 25.
You guys, Nadal and Federer took each other's title. Same with Chris and Martina. When you have Nadal and Federer playing each other, it cuts out how many they could have won because somebody else probably wouldn't have been as good as the other one.
Okay, stats, you can't go past Novak, obviously, but
Yeah.
I think for the fan base, for fans, for like the whole sport in general, I think Federer is.
He's
Federer's the
done more
most
for
beautiful
tennis.
player
I
that's
think
ever
he is,
played.
yeah. Pure, it's pure.
Marty has a doc
Yeah.
on Netflix.
Yeah,
which
what's
is
it called?
It's called Breaking Point?
It's an incredible story. It's
point.
the second best
Right.
doc of the year.
Is it?
Second best, yeah.
Oh, yes, of course. She has
Yeah.
to
The shade.
It's really amazing, and Marty tells like
I
his,
haven't seen
his,
yours. I've
his
seen
story.
hers. I
It's
didn't
not
know.
out yet.
Oh, it's not out yet.
September 7th
okay.
it comes out. I was diagnosed with severe anxiety disorder in 2012.
Yeah, we talked about that before.
The reason that I like to talk about my story is because when I was going through it, I didn't have a success story. No one had come out with their history of mental health before. And it made me feel better when I talked about it, like just internally, like I just felt better. And then I wanted to help someone in my situation. The only safe place for me was the court. All of a sudden, I have a heart issue that I fixed, and from that, just sort of was going off a cliff, and eventually, US Open 2012, I couldn't even take the court.
And you were about to play Roger, right?
Yeah, I was with Federer in the 4th round of the US Open, like, right? Like, that's right where you want to be. It never crossed my mind to not play. That was never in the cards. Mentally, we're trained to never show weakness or never show fear. And I was in the 3rd round and 4th set against Gilles Simon, and all of a sudden I look at the clock and I'm like, all right, it's 1 a.m., it's a night match. I'm gonna get home at 4 o'clock, you know, I'm not gonna get to bed till 5. I was having anxiety about having anxiety.
Yeah.
And so that was the moment where it was sort of taken away from me completely. And thank God my wife was there. She went, you know, you don't have to play. Right away, half a second later, my body went like, oh, like I feel better. I wanted to be a success story for someone. I wanted someone to watch that or hear my story and say, okay, I can beat that because he did as well. These massive athletes, they're talking about it more. We saw Naomi at the French Open and Simone in the Olympics, and Kevin Love has come out.
What you're speaking about, I've felt that a lot. Obviously, certain players, Naomi deals with it a lot. You have a lot more spotlight than, you know, a lot more eyes on you. Sometimes it's easy to just say, I don't feel like playing today, but I feel like I'm almost obligated to go out there. Like you said, like you never think about just not playing. Yeah, I've never, I guess, heard it from a player like that.
Naomi, you ended up not playing in Paris. Do you feel like better? Are you glad you did it? Or do you feel like more on edge?
No, I kind of feel like how you were describing it. I go through periods of being really sad, and you can kind of see it on my matches. Like in France, I was like really upset, and then I just told myself, maybe I shouldn't do press because it'll like, you know, amplify that feeling. Especially now in like Zoom interviews and stuff, I sort of feel like the human interaction is taken out. Yeah. I sort of have a really good relationship with most of the media, but recently it's gotten very strange because there's like new people that I've never talked to that I feel they're trying to get like a one-liner to print. That's really negative about me, so I feel like I have to have a guard up. And in Paris, like, I just wanted to get mentally in a good place. Yeah, I just woke up one morning and I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna do this. And I think I felt exactly how you felt, like very relieved. I think there's a bit of a stigma that athletes aren't humans and we can't talk about politics and stuff like that. Like I remember seeing LeBron talking about something and then someone was like, stick to playing basketball.
Yeah, Megyn Kelly.
Yeah.
Oh, that lady.
Yeah, she came after Mardy yesterday.
Well, she made a comment about our initiative at the US Open to have the well-being of the players' mental health, and she called players snowflakes or whatever. We don't have to single her out. It's just those types of comments just show me that fortunately for her, she's never had to deal with mental health, any
maybe
serious.
She's hiding.
When I see that type of stuff, I only see uneducation.
Do not take anything personally because it's not about you. It's about them talking.
Do you guys find that tough with social media and stuff?
Do you have to read social media though?
You're not really taking it to heart, but subconsciously, you're
Yeah.
seeing all the negativity and it is in the back of your mind. You are absorbing
there's so much of
As
it.
much as someone says, I don't care what other people think, you care if people like you or not.
When I post things or when I go on Instagram, I don't necessarily do it to be liked. I do it just to give people that are fans an insight to what I'm doing. But then it's the unnecessary hate that subconsciously goes in your head and it's not easy to just block out, when they're just constantly just shooting at you. I've grown to have some thick skin throughout my career.
You have to, yes.
I've had some experiences, and I think if I had seen Naomi do this, I started pretty early, and if I saw her do these type of actions, like not playing the French Open, I've been booed off the court losing 10-8 in the fifth in my home country. Brutal stuff, and locking myself in rooms. I went through that. If I saw that, maybe it would have given me a bit more of a relief that maybe I don't feel like going out there. Do you know what I mean?
What's success for you? Is it just enjoying your tennis, enjoying your life?
Yeah, hands down. For me, I've got nothing to complain about. Today I was out there practicing for an hour and a half, enjoying the US Open again, happy that I'm here, really. If I win, I win. If I lose, I lose. And if my well-being, if I feel good, then that's a success for me, really.
It's pretty cool. All right, I'm gonna read you guys a quote and I want your reaction. It's from a swimmer, Simone Manuel. She said this: "Please stop interviewing athletes right after a disappointing performance. Trust me, they gave it their all. Nothing else people need to know at that time. Lack of empathy for athletes is problematic." Naomi, any thoughts?
I'll be the first person to agree with her. It's really tough to answer repetitive questions from people that they don't train as hard as us. They don't experience the life that we've experienced.
Do you feel like there's any good that can come out of a losing press conference?
I mean, good for them. You probably won't be careful with what you say, so they'll be able to publish whatever they want.
Yeah, I think you're going to disagree slightly, aren't you, Billie?
In our generation, we played for $14 a day, and we played for more than ourselves. We only had the traditional media. So if we didn't get them to tell our story, we wouldn't have what we have today. And of course, I love to hit the ball. Just to hit the ball for me is like magic. For me, it was a sanctuary from all the challenges around me. The original 9 in 1971, which is now, 51 years ago. I was trying to get the men and women together as an association. The men rejected us. So eventually, there were 9 of us women who got together and signed a $1 contract with Gladys Hellman. She held one tournament, and I thought, well, this is great, but if we don't have a tour, we have nothing. And in 3 months, for some reason, we're able to have a tour for the first time in 1971 where we got money. So every time I walk on the court, I'm not playing for just me. I'm playing for everyone. And what I used to do in the locker room, I have a horrible temper, terrible. I would tell everybody, just stay out of the locker room, let me throw my rackets, let me go absolutely ape, and then I'll go talk to everybody, because I had to. I mean, I had times where I got a call, if you don't come to the tournament, we're not gonna have it. It was always about us and you guys, the future generation.
I think with the media now, though, they know what sells. For instance, they may have been more vulnerable and raw back then, they were working with you more to give you this voice. Right now, they will literally just walk into a media room just to nitpick and write something.
Oh, the tabloids are horrible to us.
I understand, but
no,
now
I know
I feel
it's different with social media
nothing
too.
positive really sells right now.
Maybe that's what you should talk about when you go, and that's what I used to do.
Right, but sometimes I can't control that. I actually give a good press conference and I might not even say anything negative, but that's what gets shown.
I'm trying to think if I were in your shoes, what would help me get through this, because I still think I have an obligation to talk to the press.
I think they just don't care about our well-being. If they did and they were positive and actually...
How do you know what they feel though? Have you talked to them?
Here's an example. So I played in Cincinnati and I snapped a couple rackets. As you said, you did in the locker room. And then for 3 days, all on Tennis Channel was like, I had mental issues. Like, how am I supposed to avoid that?
Well, I would say I do have mental issues.
Naomi, do you feel obligated to speak to the press?
I mean, I do feel obligated to speak to them because I'm conditioned. Like, I've been doing that since I was 15.
That's all we know.
In my mind, I'm starting to question why. Like, I know it's to grow the sport, it's all these amazing things, but I also feel like at some point talking to us is a privilege, and some people abuse that privilege. Like, I'm sure what we feel is very different from what you feel because maybe the energy of the reporters are a bit different. The perception of you is different from the perception of me. Like, your image to everybody is different from my image.
What do you think your image is?
After my first slam, I was supposed to be the good girl, you know? But now that I'm talking about stuff that bothers me, I think it's confusing a lot of people. I honestly don't know what people think about me because I don't even know. Like,
Do you care what they think about you?
Not really. Like, I care about a lot of stuff and I also don't care about a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense. Everyone loves you guys. They listen to you guys. And I think it's great when you talk and talk about your feelings. Kids need that. When I was outed in '81 for being gay, I lost everything in 24 hours. You guys can talk about these things and you're celebrated, okay? So you have to decide if you're gonna let these people decide what you're gonna do with your life. Because you talked about mental health, because you guys have talked about your feelings, people love it because other people have the same issues. But we couldn't talk about it the way you get to. So I sit back as an older person, I go, God, this is great. They can say what they feel. And then everybody actually talks about it. Every time I go to any place now, I have to talk about mental health. Why? Because you talked about it, Simone talked about it, you guys talk about it. That's fantastic progress.
Yeah.
I don't want you to get hurt by it though. I want you to prosper from it emotionally. You guys make a lot of money because of the media, whether you realize it or not. That's why people know you.
Do you feel like we should be obligated to talk to them because of earnings?
To a point, yes. We're all winning from this experience. We all have a job. We all are getting paid because of it.
Billie's got a phenomenal relationship with the press. We know that.
I do. I just tell the truth.
Yeah. Let's call you top 3 most marketable, because we're talking business now, players on tour. Do you think that is because of you, or do you think that's because of the media? Or
I think it's both.
I think it's because of me. I think I haven't changed since I was 10 years old.
What if nobody knew about you?
Yeah, okay, but I think...
But he's a good enough player to
Like,
get...
there was always going to be some sort of coverage. Mind you, I didn't really have any good press for the first 6 years in my career. If anything, it was me pushing through all that like kind of bullshit to get where I am now. Like, I wasn't getting media deals and stuff from the bad press that I was getting. So they were actually ruining my chances because of maybe I was a little different, maybe I looked different, the way I carried myself was different, but I wasn't being praised or I wasn't making money from that.
Well, we do get prize money from...
Not even prize money, but that's just the way it happened. Like, prize money is going to continue to grow, but that's just like, I feel like my game was always going to be decent enough to make some money.
That money you're getting, though, because you're a good player.
Yeah, but no one else.
Happened because of all these different things that have
No,
accumulated over time.
Views-wise, it's actually me getting the views. They have to be involved to some degree, the media for sure, I think. But I think they're kind of overstepping. It's like, she's gonna be a historic player for the game. It's so important for the game, you're forcing players to not play.
Yeah, she missed the slam because of the...
No, you decide.
Yeah, I understand.
No. You decide.
But you're a human, you're not a robot to just go out and play. Do you know what I mean?
First and foremost, I want you to be happy and healthy. That's always. So whatever that takes for you, you need to do for yourself.
Yeah.
I don't think, you said you decide, but I don't think I really had a choice, to be honest with you.
Yes, you do. You don't ever have to hit another ball the rest of your life. You can stop right now, right? Or
But
not?
I'm saying in regards to the French Open, because in that whole incident, I feel like everything got scaled very large. I honestly don't think I had a choice but to withdraw.
I think you did the right thing then. Did you do the right thing for yourself? That's all I care about.
Yeah.
Then you did the right thing.
Seeing it from the outside now, I see tennis completely differently. You too are incredibly loved. The people on the men's side, dude, you have no idea how many people love watching you play. That's because people want to see Nick Kyrgios play tennis. If you ask me the two most talented players I ever practiced with, because we never played, Roger Federer and Nick Kyrgios.
You have an elastic arm that's unbelievable.
Two guys. We practiced once, I'll never forget. It was 6-4, we played on Ash.
Play with
I won.
baby.
He doesn't remember. Yeah. I was blown away by it, because I'd never hit with you. The arm, like you said, the live arm.
His arm is
the
so
movement,
alive.
the backhand. I won 6-4. You hit 3 balls out of the stadium and broke the time clock.
That's all?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember the time clock. That actually cost me some money.
But honestly, I practiced with a lot of people, dude, and I don't remember practices. I remember that practice like it was yesterday.
I was pissed off, but I lost that. That's all I remember.
All right, guys.
It was good. Wouldn't mind just catching up with Billie for a cup of coffee.
I'm thinking that's why she's Billie Jean King.
I definitely feel like I would have preferred to play in like Johnny Mac's era or something.
Why?
Because like I just want to have like a beer afterwards, you know? I don't want to
Have a beer after.
Anyway?
Take it to the press.